teasertalk.com.
Hey Donna, hey, and Holly Nicole here with another kick-ass podcast episode.
So today we're continuing our Forever Warp series. Told you we probably wouldn't stop with two. That's how we roll. So we've had a Vans artist, a Vans veteran. So who else could we have on? Well, we're super excited for a special guest today. Welcome, Amber Rose.
Hi.
Yes, so actually we had heard about Amber because we saw a post of hers in the Vans Warped Tour community forum. And Amber, you are an American Sign Language music interpreter. So first off, thank you so much for all that you do for the music community. It's super awesome.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so this really makes my heart happy. So you're just really incorporating just some awesome things and awesome skill you have to kind of take music further, let more people enjoy it. So tell me, how exactly did you get involved with sign language?
Well, music has always been like a big part of my life. When I was like 12 years old, I started listening to Green Day and Simple Plan. So it's always been like a part of my life. But I grew up having learning disabilities and being slower than the other kids. So when I got into high school, a friend of mine told me that that my high school offered sign language classes, and she had similar learning disabilities as I did, and she told me that it might be something I'd enjoy. So when my school schedule cleared so I could take it, I took it and I fell in love with it. And my high school, like, we adopted a first grade class. We would do spring shows, winter shows, signing music. But then after high school, I just dropped it until I realized that this is probably what I should be doing. And when I started my associate's program, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. Like, I was involved with like certain fan bases on the internet, but I still didn't know. And then I met a friend of mine online. Their name is Riley, and they kind of told me how they can't go to so many shows because the interpreters that they get aren't great. So I was like, maybe this is what I need to do. And then I kind of slowly started talking to other bands, and they're like, this is something we would love to incorporate. And then last summer, I reached out to Kevin Lyman and asked him if I could do it. So I hit all the Florida shows to being an interpreter, and I got to interpret for like bands I grew up with, and it was a cool experience. And then this being the last year, I knew I had to do it again.
That's really awesome. What genres do you typically cover?
Normally I do like pop punk alternative. Like, I do a lot of State Champs and Simple Plan. You'll see me doing a lot of Sleeping with Sirens and bands like within that area.
That's awesome. And I love how you've kind of taken like what some people would see as like a weakness, and you really turned it into a strength. So you had like, like you said, you had the learning disability, but that actually steered you to this direction of where you are today. So that's super awesome to see how you've turned that, some might say it's a negative into a positive, and you're doing such positivity with the skill set that you've learned. So kudos to you. That's super awesome. And I'm, just seeing seeing you guys on stage, I've seen a lot of interpreters on stage, and I'm just super impressed that you guys are just right there along the artist, just going right with them. It's just super impressive.
I have fun with it because, like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of these bands, so being able to join them is like an amazing thing for me.
That is. So it's like you're almost part of the band, right?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's very cool. I was at Self Help last September, and I got to join State Champs, and afterwards they're like, we loved having you. And then someone from Real Friends said it too. They all just loved having me up there, which feels amazing to me, because growing up I was told I was never even going to graduate high school, let alone do anything with my life. So this whole experience has been amazing for me.
That's awesome. So you said that kind of in high school you guys did some interpreting for like first grade classes, things like that. But how long have you been interpreting professionally?
Professionally, I started last year with Warped Tour.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty much a huge entry job. So that's awesome that you landed that.
Yeah, they've been very good to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who was the first band that you ever covered?
Sleeping with Sirens.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was, what was it? The Strays.
Oh, wow.
And they
That's
actually retweeted that one, and I was like freaking out because I thought Twitter had a glitch when I saw all the notifications.
awesome. So who would you say is the craziest band that you've signed for?
I haven't done a lot of bands. I've only done, well, Water Parks was my first band I ever got to be up there with because I just asked them and they let me do it, which was incredible to me. So I'm forever thankful to Austin and Jeff and Otto for doing that for me. But no one's really been that crazy because I've only done State Champs, Water Parks, Andy Biersack's solo project, and Never Shout Never so far. Oh, and Neck Deep. Neck Deep, probably because the energy that they have on stage is like nothing that I've ever experienced before.
That's
So this is something I'm really curious about. Like as soon as, I knew we were going to talk with you, this is what I wanted to know from you. What is the hardest song to sign and what makes it so difficult?
Well, I try to break down Halsey a lot because even though I love like the pop punk stuff, I love Halsey. I love her. I've seen her like 3 or 4 times now. I just love her because she is so descriptive and uses so many idiomatic phrases. It's very hard to break it down because like an idiom in English does not translate the same way in sign language. But like doing colors was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Huh, that's really interesting.
that is. Do you ever like get nervous? I mean, I just know when I'm even singing along in the crowd, if you're like you forget a lyric line, you know what I mean? Do you ever get nervous about that, or you just kind of go with the flow?
It's the weirdest thing. I thought I was going to get nervous, but the first time I stepped up there, it was the first time I ever felt like I belonged somewhere.
Wow, that's super awesome. What's been the coolest experience that you've had from signing?
Doing Never Shout Never, because I've been listening to that band since I was 16. So being able to be up there and have him afterwards tell me how much he loved having me up there, and then he even met my family when we did the hometown show for me. It was just an incredible experience for me.
That's really awesome. So you kind of talked a little bit about how you got into Warped Tour. Just kind of talk a little more about how you got connected with them.
Well, let me go back to like my first Warped Tour ever was when I was like 18 in 2010, and I dragged my sister along, and I was dragging her around to all these bands she's never heard of, but I was like, we have to see these bands. I need to see them. You don't know any of them, so I'm just going to make you see them with me. And then I didn't go until I moved up to Orlando on my own, and then I heard Never Shout Never was going to be back on it, and then this was in 2015, I was like, that's it, I'm going again. And after that, I went every year. And then when I came up with, I didn't come up with this idea. My friend influenced me to kind of start doing this. I was like, maybe I could do it for Warped Tour since I'm not in school right now. So I tweeted Kevin. He gave me his email, and we started talking about the logistics of things and doing the tour. He was like, let's start you off with just the Florida shows and see how that goes. And it went pretty well. Like I had people come up to me who were deaf, and there's even someone who kept emailing the production company or the people in production for Warped Tour asking for an interpreter. So they're like, we're really thankful to have you right now because we need you. So that went in from what I got and my feedback, it went pretty well. And I wasn't going to do it this year. I wanted to just go as a fan since it was the last year. But then I started hearing rumors of lineups and started thinking about it more. And I was like, you know what, this could be really important to the deaf fans because I know they're going to have good bands on here. And it's going to be important for me as well.
That's awesome. So what are the dates that you're going to be there this year?
I'm going to be doing West Palm, which is the last date, Jacksonville, Orlando. I'm trying to work out Tampa, but we'll see. And then I'm doing Mountain View in California and Ventura in California. And then I'm doing Nashville.
That's awesome.
So for those who are interested in kind of pursuing something like this, becoming a sign language interpreter, what advice do you have for them and kind of what things should they do to kind of get involved?
Well, go to school. Go the program I was in, I am super thankful to it. I'm super thankful to my mentors that I had in my program. The program I was in is held to a higher standard than some other ones. I don't know. I just got lucky in picking my program, but get your associates, get your bachelor's, which is what I'm working on right now. And I just kind of started bugging bands. I always say that I just annoy bands to the point where they tell me yes because they don't want to put up with me anymore, even though I'm pretty sure that's not true. But I'm pretty persistent with if I want something, I go for it.
That's awesome. Who is a band that you haven't signed for that you want to?
Simple Plan, which I
they're
get
gonna
to do
be
this
there this
summer.
year.
I get to do that this summer. I've been following them since I was 12. And they were like my go-to when I was being bullied and stuff. So it's kind of really special for me to be able to do that.
That's so awesome to hear that. And thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge and inspiration. You are such a rad person. So for those out there listening and following us right now, how can people connect with you and how can they follow with you on the socials?
On Twitter, I'm AmberLoveRose _. On Instagram, I'm Amber Rose Signs. Those are the only. Oh, and the Facebook page is Amber Love Rose. No, it's Amber Rose Signs. I have two separate things that I always get confused with. But I don't really use YouTube. I kind of get nervous about using it because it's such a bigger platform for me than I'm used to.
You should definitely do it. You should.
Building up to it.
You'll get there. I have faith because you're rad.
Thank you.
So do you have anything else that you would like to share with the fans today?
Just, I'm always open to feedback. Come see me at a date at Warped Tour. And if you see me, come up to me, say hi. I don't bite.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's just great hearing about it. So it sounds like what you do is not only just, really cool that it's something you have the ability to do, but it's also super gratifying. And, I'm sure the deaf community really appreciates what you're doing. And as you said, I know you talked about going to the show just as a fan this year because it's the last. And I just think it's really selfless of you that you do what you do. I mean, of course, it was a good experience for you as well, but I mean, you're helping a lot of people. Like I said, you're sharing music, which is just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I put a lot of work into the songs. Like, I've already started making mock set lists and working on it.
That is so awesome. Well, Amber, thanks again. And everyone listening, make sure you go and find Amber on social media. Follow her and just kind of, reach out to her, ask her questions. I'm sure you're cool with that, right, Amber?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, guys, our Instagram is @TeaserTalk. We also have a Twitter that is neglected. Again, say that a lot. You'd think we'd stop neglecting it by now, Holly. But, anyway, that's @talk_to_teaser. Thanks again, guys, and until next time, keep rocking.
TeaserTalk.com